Hi, I'm Tyler Goldberg, Director of Political Strategy at Assembly. We're here at Possible in Miami. Joining me in Assembly's Content Cabana is Greg Sherrill from Magnite. Greg, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do at Magnite?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is great. You guys have a fantastic setup here and a great partner. So in my role, I lead our Holdco demand team, and we work with partners like you all. And we sit between the supply side, all of our great publisher partners, and the buy side. So there is no shortage of a lot of work to be done, and it's been a very exciting time in partnership with you guys.
I take it you know the Assembly team pretty well then.
Absolutely.
So Magnite's the world's largest independent sell-side platform. What does being independent mean to you all? Why is that so important?
Yeah, look, we don't have to necessarily focus on our own publisher supply if we owned our own publisher supply or our own necessarily first-party data assets. We can really focus on what's best for the buyers and best for the publishers, and being independent really allows us to do that. I think we're at an amazing size of a company. We're a large company, but we're still very nimble, and we can react quickly to market needs that you guys bring to us, that we bring to you, that our publishers, and it's great to have a three-way conversation and get things done, which is really, really nice. Yeah,
absolutely. So as you know, I take it if we came back to Possible last year, went back in time a year or two ago, the programmatic landscape has completely changed. And it seems like every week there's a new innovation, something's going to transform the way we do media. Which of these innovations are you most excited for? And to put you on the hot seat, what innovations do you think may not end up panning out?
Oh, all right. I'll take that in as a two-part question. Right now, we are super excited about our SpringServe platform, and we're combining our SpringServe ad server with our streaming platform, as everyone referenced it as our SSP. SpringServe has been just like a phenomenal part of our business and how we work with our publishers, and we're bringing that and combining the two to help buyers in a lot of ways, which I think we'll probably talk about today, and publishers. And one platform that really, I think, also continues to differentiate, and widens the gap between Magnite and other partners that don't have an ad server capability. And that is a monster differentiator. It has been for a few years, and we're really leaning more and more into that with some recent announcements and partners kind of testing this one platform, which is very exciting, and all the things that come with it around. I think we'll talk a little bit more about transparency. We'll talk about data, and so the marketplaces that we've been bringing to agencies and how we're enabling them to operate with inside the ad server in a number of different capacities has been phenomenal over the past few years. So really taking it to more and more people is going to be a big thing. Yeah,
I imagine that leads to greater efficiency too on the buyer side. Yes. Because it's all in sort of one place.
Absolutely, yeah, and so we are terrific partners with all of our DSPs. We work really closely with them, whoever people want to tap into. And then I think in a lot of cases, what is also happening is that the buy side is also just logging into SpringServe itself and placing their media buys within the ad server. And so you're if you're looking to do certain things, that becomes a fantastic way to operationalize your CTV buying and your upfront. And it has been quite a game changer as people are looking to consolidate and have less tech partnerships.
Right.
and hops.
That's an interesting thing I've been noticing too, is this both in efficiency for cost efficiency, but in efficiency of the number of partners. It seems like that's the way sort of things are going in the space. And it's been interesting to see that over the past few years.
Yep.
I assume you all have noticed that as well.
Absolutely. And look, I think it was a natural progression as people have put more and more money into programmatic, and it wasn't just like a test budget, and it wasn't, leftover money.
Right.
This is now the majority of where money is going. It's how people are operationalizing their upfront. So as all these dollars go there can certainly be economic efficiency, but it needs to come with all the right technology to get things done how you need them to get done. Reporting, targeting, measurement. So a lot of efficiencies come from when you're getting closer and closer to supply. We kind of always have said, look, the buy side and the publishers have worked together for 80 years in some
Sure.
cases, and we want that to continue, and we want them to have everybody to have strong partnerships with each other and our technology, and that enables both sides to just do that easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Being an additive partner.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
matter what. Because I also imagine your relationship on different accounts, different agencies, it's different based on their needs, right? So
Yeah.
what sorts of, I would say innovations, but more trends are you seeing in how agencies approach inventory specifically?
Everyone is so different. So some of them have fantastic data on their side that they want to primarily use to target and care a little bit less about what supply they're running on. It's all really good supply, but maybe they aren't as interested in what content they're on. If maybe some of them, though, on the other hand, are very focused on being in live sports, which is a really tricky area for people to run programmatically because of the influx of supply in an instant, and it's not always scheduled.
Right.
And so that's been a big problem and a big opportunity in a place that we've really excelled, bringing specific content to people. Live sports is an example, but it really can run the gamut of any kind of content they're looking for. That's in CTV. And then, of course, across the web for display and online video, so much activity happening there. It's a huge part of our business. We talk a lot about CTV at a conference like this, but a ton of our business is still in the display and OLV space. And it's really important to clients, too, to have a full funnel marketing capability. And then you start adding in digital out of home and audio. And, we have so many good partners that can really help a brand and an agency fill out their full marketing mix. And when you start putting it all on one platform, the insights you get really start to be additive, which is cool.
Absolutely. So obviously, I work with a lot of political and advocacy clients, and historically, and for, fair enough reasons, they're incredibly sensitive to brand safety. It seems that in the past few years, as this has been in the news more, commercial brands are now seeing, the value and sort of how vital it is to have a strong brand safety, strong transparency play. How do you all approach that? What tools do you use to improve and make sure that, your partners are getting not just where and when they want to be, but not being where they don't want to be?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. It's super important, and it has, it comes up every so often in the press with a pretty interesting articles,
Yep.
I would say, and I'm always really happy to not be in those articles, which has been very nice time and time again. I think there's a multi-pronged approach to why we've been successful there. It's partners that we work with and multiple different third-party companies that we work with. We have a team that their full job is focused on this. It's not a side project for somebody. And they're incredibly stringent and really focused on making sure the supply is good, the publishers are good, and how those publishers, it's not just, a name brand publisher that you and our parents would know.
Right.
It's also how those publishers are enabling people to access their sites and what publishers are doing. So we feel really confident when that's important. It's important to everybody,
Sure.
even if it's not the number one bullet on a brand's agenda. It's incredibly important.
Because it's like an unspoken,
Yes.
of course it's important
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to write it down.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
it should be important to everyone kind of thing, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, I think, we mentioned political. There's a lot that we've learned over the years by investing so heavily on the political side. You learn a lot at a political cycle that then you take to other lines of the
Sure.
business, which is great. And so I always look forward to that cycle every 2 to 4.
Yeah.
It kind of accelerates a lot in the space.
You'll see me back at Possible 2027, full head of white hair.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I'm very interested in with the partners is that intentionality that you talked about, right? Like, you're not just throwing things against the wall, you're building a strategy for each client. How has new technology, we'll say AI as the umbrella term, but
Sure.
new technology, how has that improved it? And do you think we're getting to a place where there's so much technology that you almost are splitting hairs too much, if that makes sense?
Sure. We've been using AI for such a long time, and I think there's still so much area for growth there as a company. But to your point, I think people can overdo things. The buy side and the publisher side sometimes are going to look too granular, and you still have to run campaigns and scale on them.
Exactly.
You still need to, in the right situations, be able to utilize data assets that you have or that we can help you tap into, or publisher data. Also really interesting for people. And so it's a balance, and I think as we talked about, like these full funnel marketing campaigns, like what you're using on a display campaign should probably be a lot different than what you're looking to utilize in a streaming television campaign that's going to be on a 60-inch TV, and you're going to have multiple people watching it at the same time together, and maybe in live environments. So it's a balance, and that's how I think we spend a lot of time working and collaborating with the buyers, the DSPs, and those publishers to make sure we get that done.
All right, we're going back into the time machine.
Okay.
We're coming back to possible 2026. You and I are sitting in the Assembly Content Cabana. What is the one trend that we will be talking about as having defined 2025 to early 26?
Look, I think one of the things we're going to see, I think more and more of, is data on the supply side. Whether that is incorporating an agency's data, a brand's data, a publisher's data. There's just so much opportunity, I think, and I think we'll look back a year from now and talk about how we're doing that on the ad server side of the house, and not just having everything done on the initial buy side. And I think it opens up a lot for efficiency, for scale, and for just how campaigns are ultimately measured, and we're seeing a ton of success there. And it's, I think, only the start. I think there's so much room for growth. And so I would imagine that's going to be a big topic for next year.
I'll hold you to that.
All right.
Greg Sherrill, thanks so much for joining us in the Assembly Content Cabana. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. It's been fantastic sitting here with you.